Did you know that Eva Longoria, at 5'2", is constantly praised for her striking presence on red carpets? Nothing there is by chance. Her stylist masters visual tricks that make her appear taller, more commanding, and above all, absurdly elegant. She's not alone. Hollywood is full of actresses considered petite who have mastered the art of looking majestic. But here's the plot twist. It's not about height, it's about invisible visual codes. Hi, I'm Carol, and if you're here, it's because you know that elegance has no minimum height requirement. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, and leave a like if you want to discover how to transform your height into your greatest advantage and even make it profitable. You know what bothers me? This collective obsession that petite women need to compensate for something. Compensate for what? Salma Hayek, at 5'2", is a living icon of sophistication. She never lets it show that her height is a limitation. She transforms every look into a statement of class. Scarlett Johansson, 5'3", is considered one of the most elegant women in Hollywood. So let's stop this deficit talk and start talking about elegant strategy. You know what the real problem is? It's not being petite, it's looking basic. And that's infinitely harder to fix. There's a secret that the world's most stylish women know and that you've probably never heard of. In the 18th century, French courtesans used a trick called ligne de fuite, visual escape line. They created optical illusions that made the eyes travel up their body in an ascending way, creating an impression of height and, more importantly, sophistication. The difference is that they had access to styles backstage while many common women continue to be sabotaged by the mirror without even understanding why. This happened in Imperial France, but the principle remains today. So it's exactly this trick that makes ordinary women look absurdly refined, and you're going to start using it today. First secret, the V neckline is your silent ally. I'm not talking about that dramatic neckline that shows everything that's vulgarity, and we both know vulgarity has never been elegant. I'm talking about the subtle V neckline that creates two diagonal lines directing the gaze upward. It's almost like a silent illusionist trick, just done with fabric. You know why this works? Because our eyes naturally follow lines. When you wear a round or square collar, the gaze stops at that point. But when you wear a V, the gaze is conducted upward, creating an illusion of elongation. It's like an invisible arrow pointing to your face, and let's face it, that's where true elegance lies. Second secret, color contrast. But here comes the second secret, which is where most women get it completely wrong: color contrast. Have you ever noticed that when someone wears a white blouse with black pants, visually they get cut in the middle? This has happened to you too, but you never stop to analyze why, so I'll explain. When you create too much contrast between pieces, you literally divide your body into visual segments. It's as if you put an imaginary horizontal line on your body. For a petite woman, this is an elegant shot in the foot. The solution? Go for tone-on-tone or monochromatic looks. Kristen Bell, at 5'2", masters this concept. She frequently appears at sophisticated events wearing a single color from head to toe. This creates a continuous, uninterrupted line that naturally elongates the silhouette. The shoe rule. Now, I'm going to tell you something I learned by observing truly elegant women. They never, ever wear shoes that cut the visual. You know those black shoes with a beige dress? Or those red sandals with a nude look? That's something for people who don't understand the visual codes of elegance. The golden rule is, wear nude shoes or shoes that match your bottom piece, creating visual continuity. If you're wearing green, use nude shoes or green-toned shoes. If you're in navy blue, go for nude or similar blue. Nude, by the way, is the absolute wild card. It literally extends your legs to infinity. These tricks aren't TikTok trends, they're codes inherited from quiet luxury, which old money has mastered for generations. The belt strategy. Speaking of visual codes, I need to tell you about belts. For decades, stylists have repeated that petite women can't wear belts. This is as absurd as saying petite women can't wear shoes. Of course you can wear belts. The question is understanding which belt to use and how to use it. The secret is, again, in contrast, if you wear a black belt with a beige dress, you'll create that horizontal line that cuts your silhouette. But if you wear a beige belt with a beige dress, you'll create waist definition without breaking the vertical line. It's subtle, it's elegant, and it works perfectly. And about belt width, avoid very thick belts or giant buckles. Remember Carrie Bradshaw wearing those wide belts in the 2000s? It was fashionable at the time, but it wasn't necessarily elegant for all silhouettes. For you, medium or thin belts are much more sophisticated. The volume rule. Here's a fact that will surprise you. Natalie Portman, at 5'3", is considered one of the most elegant red carpet actresses. You know one of her tricks? She practically never wears very voluminous or full skirts. Why? Because horizontal volume competes with vertical height. This doesn't mean you can't wear midi skirts or culottes, another myth that needs to die. It means you need to balance. If you wear a midi skirt, compensate with shoes that elongate. If you wear culottes, combine with a blouse that creates a vertical line. The jumpsuit power. Speaking of vertical lines, here's the most powerful trick of all: jumpsuits. It might seem too casual, but a well-cut jumpsuit is a weapon of mass elegance. It creates an uninterrupted vertical line from shoulder to ankle. It's literally like wearing an elegant column. Diane von Furstenberg revolutionized women's fashion with the wrap dress precisely because she understood this principle. The wrap dress creates a vertical line with the drape, defines the waist without cutting the silhouette, and works at any height. It's no wonder it's still considered a timeless classic today. Details that matter. But there's a detail that makes all the difference: the waist position in jumpsuits. If the waist is too low, you lose proportion. If it's too high, it can look artificial. The ideal position is slightly above your natural waist. This creates the illusion of longer legs without losing naturalness. Another interesting fact: did you know the fashion industry considers any woman under 5'9" petite? This means most women in the world are technically petite by fashion standards. So you're in great company and need to stop seeing yourself as an exception. The subtle pattern strategy. Here's a strategy few people know. Use vertical patterns subtly. I'm not talking about those loud stripes from the 80 seconds. I'm talking about vertical seams, vertical stitching, or even the vertical opening of a blazer. All of this directs the gaze up and down, never to the sides. The detail philosophy. Reese Witherspoon, whom I mentioned earlier, has a specific trick for events. She always uses only one nail polish color, nude or French manicure. Why? Because even details matter in creating a continuous visual line. A flashy red polish can break the visual harmony you've built so carefully. And since we're talking about details, let's discuss accessories. Very short necklaces can visually shorten your neck. Very long necklaces can break your torso line. The perfect measurement? A necklace that ends about 2 fingers below your collarbone. This elongates the neck without breaking the torso proportion. Earrings also deserve special attention. Small, delicate earrings work perfectly for everyday wear, but for important events, you can go for earrings that create a vertical line like drop earrings or long earrings. They elongate the neck and add sophistication to the look. The elegance mindset. Now, a secret I learned by observing truly elegant women: they never, ever try to disguise anything. They work with what they have intelligently and strategically. The difference between an insecure woman and an elegant woman isn't in height, it's in how she presents herself to the world. You know what strikes me most? Petite women often have an advantage they don't even notice: proportion. When you have a smaller stature, it's easier to create harmonious and proportional looks. A very tall woman sometimes struggles to find pieces that work perfectly in all proportions. So instead of seeing your height as a limitation, start seeing it as a blank canvas to create impeccable looks. It's like being an artist with a smaller canvas. You need to be more precise, more careful, but the result can be a masterpiece. The true secret. And here's a truth nobody talks about. Elegance isn't about drawing attention to your height. It's about drawing attention to your presence. A truly elegant woman enters a room and people notice her sophistication, her style, her confidence, not her height. Remember Coco Chanel? She was 5'4" and revolutionized world fashion. She didn't try to appear taller, she created such a striking style that height became irrelevant. That's true elegance. Making your personal attributes become part of your personal brand. Advanced visual tricks. Another powerful trick: showing a little bit of ankle between the end of your pants and the beginning of your shoe will make others think you're at least 5'9", even if you're 5'3". It's pure visual mathematics. And there's more. Shoes with pointed toes are your secret allies. They don't need to be pumps or stilettos, but rounded toes create a sensation of flattening and shortening of silhouette. It's about geometry applied to elegance. The 3-color rule. I'll reveal something I observed in New York, Paris, and London. The most elegant women in the world have a common denominator: they never use more than 3 colors in their total look: black, white, and a touch of camel, or navy, nude, and discreet gold. It's about creating a cohesive palette that doesn't compete with your presence. Quality over logos. And when we talk about old money style, the rule is clear. Quality fabrics like cashmere, silk, and wool always surpass flashy logos. A plain silk blouse will always be more elegant than a designer logo printed blouse. It's about whispering luxury instead of shouting wealth. The heel truth. Here's a secret they never told you. Heel height isn't what matters most. It's the shoe's total silhouette. A medium heel shoe with a subtle platform can be more effective than a very high pump that breaks the leg line. It's about creating visual continuity, not artificial altitude. The ghost line technique. And speaking of continuity, I'll teach you the ghost line trick. When you wear pants the same color as your tights and similar shoes, you create an uninterrupted line that confuses the eye. The brain can't identify where the leg ends and the shoe begins. It's illusionism applied to fashion. Quiet luxury codes. Another quiet luxury code. Truly sophisticated women avoid very graphic or contrasting prints. Animal print? Only in small doses, like a scarf or shoe. Stripes? Only subtle and vertical ones. It's about creating a neutral base that allows your personality to shine through details. The personal uniform philosophy. And here's something that will change your perspective. Elegance isn't about hiding your imperfections. It's about creating a coherent visual narrative. That's why celebrities have stylists who create a personal uniform. They discover what works and invest in variations of the same concept. You don't need 15 different styles. You need one style that works in 15 different ways. The 2024 quiet luxury trend. The quiet luxury dominating 2024 is exactly this. Timeless pieces, neutral colors, and impeccable craftsmanship instead of flashy logos. It's about investing in pieces that will make you look elegant 10 years from now. And there's an interesting psychological detail. When you dress better than other people around you, you automatically project more confidence. It's not about competition, it's about raising the standard of the environment. You become the elegance reference that other women want to follow. Final thoughts. Because in the end, elegance isn't about compensating for anything. It's about enhancing everything. It's about using every inch of your body as a style statement. It's about understanding that sophistication comes from the inside out. And when you master these visual techniques, you don't just look more elegant, you become more elegant. And that's the difference between a woman who dresses well and a truly elegant woman. The first follows rules, the second creates her own style language. You already know which one you want to be. You don't need more inches, you just need more intention.